So today we'll be making the M1 Abrams. The M1 Abrams is a very popular modern tank, and it's currently America's main battle tank, and it looks like a really cool tank. This tank was highly requested with like 4 requests, so thank you for requesting the tank. This tank was actually really hard to build because of how geometrically weirdly shaped it is. This tank is also really highly detailed with a bunch of things on top of it, so I hope the tank fits your needs. Anyways, let's get into the tutorial. To start off, here's a reference image. But since this is a modern tank, there's a lot of good images on the Abrams. So if you want to make a good tank, you want to look up a lot of reference images. But here's one really good reference image I found. And also, look at this sexy new table. Oh baby, this table I found at an abandoned warehouse, so we just took it. Yeah, there were a lot of good things I found at that warehouse. But I got this table, and this table can actually turn 360 degrees, which is very helpful. This means the camera can pick up different angles of the table without actually moving the camera, which is really good. My old table was not even a table, it's just one of those things that you pull out of a drawer or something. To make the tank, I cut out these flat strips of cardboard. And this one, which will be the top of the tank, will just be bent slightly a little bit on the front. Then you glue on this other piece of cardboard with a sharp angle. Then you want to bend the back piece upward in a curve. You just want to match how the actual Abrams looks in the back. And I also glued on other pieces of cardboard to extend the back. Now I cut a hole into the tank to make the turn mechanism. But I just cut the hole for now, so it's not a problem later. So I just cut a quarter-sized hole into the middle of the tank. Then I start working on the back by gluing on a flat piece and then an angled piece. That should connect the whole entire tank. When you're done, you should have this weird looking shape. And now it's time to make the turn. The turn is really hard to explain how to make. You just have to cut this angled piece of cardboard and glue this. I have no clue. Just follow the reference images and the video. You should have these 2 geometric things that angled inwards. When you're done making both of them, you want to line them up pointing like this. And you want to make sure there's a gap in between. This will be where the gun will go. So I lay it out like this to get a sense of where I'm gonna put stuff. In this tank, I also wanted to add a gun mechanism which allows the gun to move up and down. So to make it, I got this cut up pen and I rolled a bunch of paper around it. The paper you should use is just scratch paper. When you're done wrapping the paper around the pipe, take out the piece of paper because it shouldn't be glued onto the pipe. And you want to glue the pipe in between the 2 pieces of cardboard you got. Then you want to stick the rolled up paper into the pipe which is connected to the tank. And then I glue on the other piece. As you can see, the middle cylinder is actually lined with cardboard. I did this because I wanted to make it thicker. Now it should be able to move. After that, it's time to finish the rest of the turret. The rest of the turret is made by these triangles that curve upwards. And then I glue on the back. Now you should have this weird geometric mess. And after that I glued the top onto a flat piece of cardboard. This is to make the top piece by just gluing it on and trimming it off. When you're done making the top of the turret, it's time to make the actual gun. The gun is just this mechanical pencil that I wrap paper around. The paper is there because the M1 Abrams has these like bumps on its cannon. So I replicated it with paper. When the gun was done I added on the bottom. This is pretty simple. Now I made the turret mechanism. To do this, I got the circle that I cut out earlier, and I glued it onto the bottom of the turret. The circle that I cut out should be the same circle that I cut out from the hole. Then I stuck the turret through the hole that I cut out onto the tank. and after that I glue on a bigger piece of cardboard onto the bottom. This tutorial video is really poorly made, and you can't really see what I'm explaining, and this is probably because of the new table. So if you're new to the channel, check out my other how-to videos to figure out the mechanisms and stuff. When the turn mechanism was done, I glued on the side of the tank. And now you should have this tank looking thing. After you're done with the main body of the tank, it's time to add details. Details are basically scraps of cardboard and other things that I glue onto the tank to give it more dimension. And since the M1 Abrams has a lot of other stuff onto the tank, it's very important to add a lot of these. Some of these details are this machine gun on the top and these back stuff. Just add whatever you want depending on the reference images. When you're done adding all the details, it should look something like this. Now I made these things that cover the tracks. They should be curved a little bit on the front, like this. Now I start adding the wheels, which are just cut up foam boards. These are one of the more tedious parts. After you're done adding the wheels, I add on these side skirts. The side skirts should look like this. And now for the most tedious part of the build. You have to glue on all these individual squares. According to the reference image I have, the M1 Abrams has these little square thingies on the sides of the skirts. So I cut out a bunch of squares and glued them onto the tank. After that, it's time to make the tracks. The tracks are made by just peeling cardboard, and this will get you this corrugated stuff. When you're done making the tracks, it's time to paint the whole entire tank. The tank is painted this tan color, and the tracks including the machine gun is painted black. And for some reason, while painting the tank, the turret just fell off. I have no idea why, so I'll fix that later. And after you're done painting the whole entire tank and fixing it, it was time to add the tracks. And now you're basically done. So thank you guys for requesting this tank. It was fun to make such a modern tank. And fun fact, the M1 Abrams actually has 1 foot thick armor, which is pretty interesting because it has thicker armor than the mouse. And also, I'll be making the M3 Lee after this tutorial. So thank you all for watching.